was recently talking with some friends from different NHS trusts who have gone on their maternity leave who didn't even know that there is a calculation period for the maternity pay. Hi guys, I am Midwife Jamie, of course, a midwife, a mom, and someone who is very passionate about helping women navigate pregnancy, birth, and everything in between. I talk about life in the UK, midwifery practice in the UK as well. To my returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back. Welcome back, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Now, today's video is going to be very educative as always and very personal because I'm actually talking to you from my own maternity leave experience. But here's the thing, before I went on maternity leave, I made a plan to work smart, not just hard, so I could maximize my maternity pay. And I want to share that with you. I was recently talking with some friends from different NHS trusts who have gone on their maternity leave who didn't even know that there is a calculation period for the maternity pay. Now, a lot of people think maternity pay is just whatever your employer gives you. But in the UK, there is actually a lot you can do to make sure that the amount works in your favor. And yes, it involves understanding the rules and even working strategically during certain weeks of your pregnancy, especially around the 16 to 25 weeks, which is when your employer calculates your pay for statutory maternity pay. So if you are in a dire need for this free advice, grab a comfortable seat and stick with me because these tips could literally add hundreds of pounds to your maternity pay. I'll be honest with you. Most people don't know this. I didn't know this. I found out and I used it. They work just as normal, take their leave and accept what comes in their pay packet. But by the time you get pregnant again or progress with this current pregnancy, if you are pregnant, know this for your own good. I wanted to spend time with my baby without panicking over bills or cutting my leave short just to survive in the UK. And the midwife in me wanted to figure out how to help other women do the same. Let's start with the basics because if you don't understand how this maternity pay is worked out, you will never be able to maximize it. If you are eligible for statutory maternity pay, which most employed women are, your employer will look at a very specific window in your pregnancy to decide how much you will get during your maternity leave. It's called the calculation period. This is usually 8 weeks of average pay leading up to and including your qualifying week, which is the 15th week before your due date. For most women, that's around the 16 to 25 weeks of pregnancy. You need to maximize that time. So whatever you earn during that time, including any overtime, extra shift or enhancement, is what your SMP will be based on. That means that if you work extra shifts during those weeks, your average pay will go up and so will your maternity pay go up for the entire 39 weeks. It's like planting seeds in the springtime and eating harvest the whole year. Let me break it down with an example. Imagine you normally earn £500 a week, but during your calculation period, you pick up a few extra shifts and now you are earning £650 a week. Your maternity pay will be based on that £650 average and not your normal £500. That means your first 6 weeks of maternity leave, which are paid at 90% of your average earnings, as we've discussed in one of the videos, will be much higher. And even after that, for the next 33 weeks, where you are on the £184 a week or 90% of your average earnings, whichever is lower, we've discussed that also earlier in the video. I'll leave the link here for you. You might still see a nice boost in those times. Those extra hours now could literally be worth hundreds of pounds later. You might not see it without you even being at work to earn those hundreds. Now, let me share exactly what I did. First, I looked at my due date and worked backwards to find my qualifying week. That's the 16 to 25 weeks. Then I marked those weeks in my diary or my calendar. Those were my golden window. During those weeks, I planned my shifts very carefully. The first thing I did was saying yes to Saturday nights and Sunday shifts. In the NHS, working Sundays comes with extra enhancement you would not get if you work on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Working Saturday nights into the Sunday also gives you both night enhancements and Sunday enhancements as well. So you can plan around that time. You can plan around such a thing like that and do. I did shifts like that within the calculation period to help with maximizing my maternity pay. The next thing was I picked up bank shifts where possible within the calculation period. So you usually work 3 days a week. You can pick one or two extra shifts if you can. The third thing I did was working night shifts. Night shifts would give you night enhancements and help you to maximize your maternity pay. Discuss with your manager during your risk assessment to ensure that you are safe to do nights. You are safe to do so, The key was I didn't burn myself out before or after that window. I saved my energy for the weeks that mattered most. And because I knew it was temporary, I could push through, knowing it would give me a cushion for months while I was at home with my baby. Even within that window, I remember I canceled a few banks because I needed to prioritize my health over money. We came to meet money, but you get the opportunity, grab the money. You understand? Now, let me be very clear. This is not about overworking yourself to the point of exhaustion or risking your pregnancy. You have to listen to your body, give ear to your body. My friend, you have to be honest about your limits. If you are feeling unwell, if your job is physically demanding, or if you have any pregnancy complications, you must prioritize your health and your baby's well being. In my case, I was fortunate. God gave me grace. I was able to adjust my workload. I made sure I wasn't on my feet for the 12 hours straight without breaks. As a midwife in the UK, it's very funny. You cannot just take your break on your own. The day is practically planned by the coordinators. They offer the breaks to ensure that the unit is running smoothly and safely. My coordinators are lovely, and would prioritize pregnant women for breaks. So as soon as I was offered the break, I grab it. I grab it because if you don't, it's very difficult getting a break because of the busy units and the heavy workload. I took my rest very, very seriously. And I was open with my manager about what I was doing and why, so we could plan my rota without putting me at risk or putting a lot of pressure on me. There are other ways you can work smart. Extra shifts are not just the only way to boost your maternity pay. Here are other strategies you can use. The first one I'll talk about is use your annual leave before your maternity leave starts. This means that you get paid for that leave and your maternity leave starts later, stretching your time off. Most of my colleagues start their maternity leave at around 34, 35, is to give them enough time before their babies arrive. They still get paid within that period, even before their maternity starts. It's another way of getting paid whilst you rest. I took some time off. I think from the 1st of April, I didn't work. I delivered the late of April. By the grace of God, I had a chance of resting and still being paid for the same time I spent home, even before my maternity leave started. Please check your trust policy. Some employers are more generous than the SMP. If they top up your pay, your calculation period could even be sweeter and better than mine. Plan your date carefully. Sometimes starting maternity leave later can give you more full weeks of pay. Claim what you are entitled to: the Healthy Start scheme, the Healthy Start vouchers, child benefits, free prescriptions. If you are entitled to any of them, grab them because they all stretch your money further. Guys, this is my personal result. So did it work for me? Absolutely. By being intentional in those 8 weeks, I increased my maternity pay by around more than 1,350 extra in my pocket just from being strategic. I mean, if I had not been intentional about those 8 weeks, I would have gotten way below what I get now. Even though it is not as much as working, it is okay, looking at the fact that I'm home enjoying maternity leave. And when you are on maternity leave, trust me, every pound, in fact, every penny counts. So if you are pregnant right now, especially if you're around 12 to 15 weeks, this is your sign. Check your due date, find your qualifying week, and make a plan. Work smart during those weeks, boost your average pay, and give yourself the best maternity leave you can get, because you deserve to enjoy this time with your baby without unnecessary financial stress. I would be comparing 2 or 3 maternity pay slip from other colleagues for you to see the difference in another video. If you have found this video very helpful, please like, share and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you are going to try this or you have tried this before. Did it work for you? And then remember, you are not just growing a baby if you are pregnant. You are growing a whole future, and you are doing amazing. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.